these are the Zionists, the same people who want to claim that pro-Palestinian protesters, they hate Jewish people. They want to destroy Israel. They're violent. This is me covering my other hotspot video. Because as they pretend that Palestinian protesters or pro-Palestinian protesters are calling for the genocide, Zionists call for the murder of Palestinians, including the Zionist hijacked media who dehumanize Palestinians. In this memo, and you guys know the owners of the New York Times, they're hardcore Zionists. It's a Zionist-read outlet. They're the outlet that spread the mass rape hoax that we are still dealing with to this day. People still repeat it despite the fact that it was retracted. You have reporters in the New York Times that wasn't allowed to call it Palestine, friends. You understand how evil the people we are up against are? People in the media, the quote-unquote fourth estate, they are actively working with the fascist Zionists in order to erase the identities of Palestinians. And that is what they're doing because we know history is written by the winners. Israel and the West made a calculation that they're going to win. I don't think that's given anymore. But their plan was let's genocide the Palestinians, and over the course of history, we're going to steal their culture. They stole everything from the Palestinians. They stole their food. They take Palestinian cuisine and then they label it Israeli. Like they are notorious thieves. Now they want to erase Palestine off the map, telling their reporters not to use the term Palestine. And I had a good friend, my good friend Didi, you guys see in the chat, who made this point. And I tried to not use the term Gazans because there was a coordinated psyop where they didn't want reporters to ever use the term Palestine. They're Gazans. They're from Gaza. They're Hamas. So we should just say Palestine, especially when you see the words that the establishment don't want us to use. They don't want us to use the term ethnic cleansing. They don't want to use the term occupied territory, even though they are literally occupying territory. They don't want us to use the term genocide. So these are Zionists literally admitting their crimes. This is an admission of guilt. This is what I mentioned earlier. Listen to this. This is truly psychotic and truly shows why we are the most propagandized country in the world. The memo also instructs reporters not to use the word Palestine, except in very rare cases, and to steer clear of the term refugee camps to describe areas in Gaza historically settled by displaced Palestinians expelled from other parts of Palestine. So they can't even use Palestine. They're like, man, unless you absolutely can't avoid using it, label them Hamas. But so anyway, I cover a lot of this in my hotspot video. The bullshit reasoning is they don't want to show emotion in their reporting, even though they show emotion and they're reporting in Ukraine all the time. Whenever an IDF terrorist is murdered by a resistance fighter, they pretend it's the worst thing ever. They often lie and pretend that there was a civilian the entire time. But I'm going to show you guys because Saw Rod, you guys know Saw. She's a great friend of RBN. She was on Nick at Night a few times. So I already had her on Nick at Night about 3 times this year already. A part of the International Left Coalition that RBN started a while ago. Saw is amazing. And she showed you guys how the New York Times dehumanizes Palestinians all the time. Just look at a few of these headlines, for example. This headline says, Gazan describes search for food and wonder if it will get worse. You guys see how they don't call them Palestinians? They're Gazans. And what is the crime? Why are they searching for food? And they wonder if it's going to get worse. Who's making it worse? Israel. Once again, that's our girl Saw. Regular at Nick at Night. You guys know she's just getting started. Look at these other headlines meant to demonize Palestinians. To battle wartime hunger, Gazans turn into humble leafy green. Turn to a humble leafy green. So once again, They're not mentioning who's responsible for the hunger, using starvation as a tool for war, and their obsession with calling Palestinians Gaza. So help me God, as long as I help it, I am never, ever using the term Gazans ever again. I don't care if it's accurate. Never ever use that fucking term again. Because you got to see the establishment, the New York Times and West, they want to erase Palestine. They okay with a Gaza. Gaza, that sounds scary to white people. They okay with a Gaza, but Palestinian, nah. Few more. Displaced Gazans wonder where to go as Israel vowed to keep pushing south. You couldn't be more aggressively neutral if you tried. Actually, no, that's not even a true statement. They're not even neutral. They just you could be more aggressively pro-Israeli in your headline if you tried. New York Times. You gotta see the corrections. Essentially bombing anywhere that they go. This one's hilarious. Lives ended in Gaza. Oh, don't you hate when your life it just ended? It doesn't suck when you have neighbors and their life just ends. Wonder how it ends. Huh? It's kind of weird. Your life just ends. And like when they say lives lost in Gaza, man, I don't know. It's kind of hard to lose a life. Have you guys ever lost a life? Oh no, your life. Oh, it's gone away. Oh, it's gone away. Lives ended. Like they hit the end of the movie. They had the end of their movie. They had the end of their personal movie. Their life just ended. 30,000 Palestinians killed is what any country will say that it wasn't extremely propagandized.